I've been to Mexico, I don't know the exact amount of times, but I've been here once maybe with Mr. Big, like all over Mexico. Avantasia, the rock opera that I'm a part of, 2 or 3 times maybe. And then I've been to Mexico twice as a solo artist. So carry the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, yeah. More than a few times. Yeah, I mean, people ask me all the time about my technique, or they even say, you'd be a great vocal teacher, or you go like, no, I don't know how I do it. I don't know how, I've been doing a vocal lesson for a good 35 years. There's a woman named Judy Davis from Oakland, California. She's passed on now, but I had this little cassette tape, and I put it on CD, and it's got all these kind of stretching voice exercises and breathing exercises, and it's really simple, so old, but I've been doing that before every show. I'll do it, and I sound like a hurt animal, I do it in the shower because it's got that natural reverb. I love reverb. Ever since I went to Budokan in Japan and played, multiple Budokans sold out, everything has to be Budokan in my head. Sometimes I wear in-ears, and then sometimes when I'm on stage, I have to have reverb so I can psychologically hit that high note, and it doesn't feel so bad. I don't have to strain so much. Yeah, my technique is weird. I mean, I don't think I do sing from the gut. I've learned how to do it, but yeah, maybe I should have just said I don't have any technique, actually. I don't know how I do it. It just happens, man. All right. I've been so lucky to play with great musicians. There's no bad apple in any of these people. I've been really, really lucky. Even when I first started out, I was in my own band, Eric Martin Band. It actually was called 415 for the area code of San Francisco. And then our manager, Herbie Herbert, who managed Journey, he said, we gotta come up with a better name. I think, since Eric Martin writes the songs and sings them, I think we gotta use his name. So they called it the Eric Martin Band. The guys in the band hated that name. To me, I loved it, actually. I thought it had a nice ring to it. When we were first starting out, that was 1983, and even those guys, this guy, John Nyman, who plays in Y&T, Yesterday and Today, one of my favorite bands of all time, and then Troy Laketta, the drummer for the band Tesla, and so I've just been lucky, and I'm really respectful. I play with Billy Sheehan and Paul Gilbert, Pat Torpy, Spirit of Pat Torpy, and it doesn't get any better than that, right? But I remember playing thousands and thousands of gigs with him, right? And I'm just took it for granted that they're always going to be that good. Or what I'm trying to say is that I always appreciated them and respected them. We fought like cats and dogs a couple times because we were brothers, right? But I always respected them. And I respected all the musicians I've ever played with. They were super kind to me. I'm telling you, there's no bad stories there. Good, really. I played with the best. I mean, Neil Sean, Steve Lukather, Taka Matsumoto from Japan. I mean, the list goes on. There's so much more people. Oliver Hartman from Avantasia. He's a super great player, Sasha Payeth, another Avantasia brother. All right. If you're a rock star, you can't, it's like Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club, Yeah, you don't ever tell, if you're around a bunch of musicians and you go, I've been a rock star for, you don't do that. That's not good. And when people do call me a rock star, it makes me feel good, gets my ego kind of pumped up a little bit. I still don't feel, well, no, that's not true. I feel now that I've earned it. It takes about 30 years to earn it, And it feels kind of weird when people call me that. But yeah, sometimes fans just don't know. You know, they love you and they see you and they go, hey, you weren't as good as last time or whatever. Man, it's hard to keep that bar up there, you know. I mean, they want me to sing To Be With You exactly like they heard it in 1991, 92. And the key to that is sleep and don't drink. Don't drink. No, don't smoke either. Yeah, it was better in the 80s and 90s, I thought. I mean, there was more. I mean, look, rock was king in the 80s and 90s. You know, folks like, you know, some parts around the world. I mean, you got Mexico still flies the freak flag of rock and roll, you know, and other countries in Europe. But there, you know, there's like even the United States is kind of fickle a little bit. There's still a big, huge rock and roll market, but it wasn't as, you know, big and bad as it was in the 80s and 90s. And there was MTV, radio always played it. It was king, and everything else was just like underneath, you know. And so it's a lot difficult. But the streaming services, look, I'm old school. I don't know, not real old school, but iTunes, or now you got Apple Music and stuff. I mean, I still think it's great. I don't miss cassettes, because cassettes broke. They were terrible. But I do miss CDs, and I still play CDs in the car. I don't have, you know, I'm old school. I don't have the Sirius radio, and I don't, you know, I should get it because they play a lot of Addicted at Rush and To Be With You all the time. That's what people tell me. But yeah, I don't mind the streaming services at all, as long as keep my my music and my dream alive, you know. So yeah, I am so busy this year, and I'm so happy about it, because for 2 years I sat on the couch, ate, drank like a fish, you know. I don't know about you or you folks at home, but I am hoarding about 5,000 rolls of toilet paper. If you want to come by and, you know, we'll have a garage sale, maybe a Eric Martin flea market. But I didn't do anything. You know, I mean, I wrote some songs, but I'm an entertainer. I miss being out there. And so I just really, I don't know, I prayed to God. I wished really hard to get out there. And I got some great stuff happening. I mean, this is my second run in Latin America. I was in South America a couple weeks ago. I'm going to Europe with Avantasia. And in between Avantasia festivals, I'm playing in Germany and playing acoustic shows, right? And then I got a huge, that's June and July, and then a huge UK tour with me and a guy named David Cottrell. He plays in a band called Demon in England. Great player. And we're playing acoustic, and it's called Eric Martin's Big Acoustic, all over the UK, you know, in Ireland, Wales, Scotland, all that. And then I come home, and then I go to the United States, and I'm opening to Michael Schenker for 22 shows, acoustically. I don't know how that happened, but his management goes, yeah, we'd like Eric Martin to play his Mr. Big Hits with acoustic. So it's me and a guy named PJ Farley, plays an American band called Trickster. And then don't have a drummer yet, right? Drummers will be coming out. Hopefully drummers will be like, we would love to play with you, but we want to do it for a lot more money than you want. All right. But, and Paul Pesco is a guitar player, and he is phenomenal. Played with Hall & Oates for about 8-10 years. And God, he was in Madonna. He played with Madonna for like 2 tours. Stevie Winwood. I mean, I call that guy a made man. You know, like Billy Sheehan is a made man. Paul Gilbert, made man. Paul Pesco is a made man, and he's going to be great to tour with. I played with this kid, I want to say like 1985 maybe, and I did a movie soundtrack with him. I mean, 35 years ago probably. It was a movie called Teachers, and then we both played on a Michael Bolton record. I sang background vocals and he played guitar. And I haven't seen him I didn't see him for about 35 years. And then just recently phones are not like this anymore, but I'm pretending. Okay? Ring, ring. And yeah, Paul, man, I'm really happy about that. I forgot to mention that in between all of this stuff, after when I get back from my tour, Latin America, I'm hooking up with Jeff Tate from Queensryche, and him and I are doing, it's his baby. It's called Backstage Pass Travel. And he got a tour bus, and he takes like 12 to 15 people, like, you know, they're fans, and they listen to the stories of Queensryche. And we also go to, and Mr. Big, maybe, who knows. I'm opening to Jeff in Seattle, and then we're traveling from Seattle, Washington to Idaho to Montana, like good 10, 12-hour drive, but stopping in different places to go to restaurants and distilleries and museums and art galleries and play campfire music. You know, he'll be doing Silent Lucidity, and I'll be doing To Be With You, and maybe Jet City Women, and I'll be doing Daddy Brother. This is my second time doing it, and that's great. And then him and I, after that Backstage Pass travel tour, we both fly to Germany because we're both in habitation. Yeah, here's my advice to you folks at home. Can I look into the camera on this one? Okay. You boys and girls at home, listen, you know, trust me, like I drank my whole life, you know. I just stopped drinking about 7 months ago. I'm singing the best I've ever sung in my life. Even, I mean, granted, I sang pretty good back in my 20s and 30s, maybe a little bit of the 40s with early Mr. Big shows, but I'm singing so much better without drinking, and maybe you want to curb that. Smoking, I don't even need to talk to you about it. You just stop that altogether. Wash your hands of that. But the key to your survival, to be, you know, get out there as far as, and I'm only talking about singers out there. Sleep. You got to get good 7 hours sleep, or you're gonna suck. You're just gonna suck. But you know, just keep doing it. There are people out there, you know. My son is a basketball player, and he's pretty good. He's in high school, and I go, were there any scouts there? Dylan, his name is Dylan. He goes, yeah, Dad, there were scouts. So there are people out there. There's still talent agencies out there. They're still looking for new talent, the next big thing, you know, and just keep doing it. And even if you don't, look, here's my mantra. When you least expect it, good things will happen. So don't dwell on it. Don't stress on it, because it'll just drive you nuts. All right. What is my technique? You kids at home, why don't you write into the show?